Yay! I always love that part where it says, "You're on air live." Hello, everyone. Angel here, and welcome to Empath Views Live. We on this channel go over several different views of this epic shift in consciousness that is happening on planet Earth. And today's topic in particular, we want to cover an empath's guide to the holidays and what this holiday season, the approach perhaps from a highly sensitive angle, your angle, someone who's very conscious of this shift in energy, how you can have a more harmonious, empathic experience with your friends and family, where for the most part, we've been quite active researching since about 2011 this shift in consciousness. And where we've come to understand with this is that it's been tagged as light working, it's been tagged as way showing. There's many different labels. However, there's been a bit of a shift in the last few months in all of our beliefs, and what we're seeing is empathic wobbliness, and so we really want to honor that. And I actually wanted to start out with a Nelson Mandela quote to set the tone, because this quote I want you to remember throughout this holiday season. It applies to what you wish to have from your friends and family and what you as an empath can give to your friends and family. So the quote is, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." That's going to be very important for you to hold on to throughout this holiday season, because what we are looking for is a freedom of energetic choices. And with the recent changes, the recent empathic changes that Gaia has gone through and that humanity is currently going through, it has created a worldwide ripple effect for energetic change. So if it affects the one, it's going to affect the all. And humanity right now is merely beginning to embrace energy and empathy. So why don't I'm going to well, actually, and the closest understanding to what is transpiring has been labeled as religion in general, or some of us are calling it spirituality. So the reason why I'm jumping around to a few different topics here is that I want to get to the point that we're only really beginning to understand this shift in consciousness. And while you're adjusting your empathic sensitivity, there perhaps might be a need for privacy for yourself, especially with your loved ones, in what it is that you are experiencing. It's important that we look for validation, but what I want to let you know about this shift in general right now, let your mind know, is that no one is wrong in their approach. No religion is wrong, no spirituality approach, no non-spirituality, non-religion approach is wrong. And our goal is, throughout this shift of consciousness, is to elevate the sentience within our being and what we can feel and sense around us. And when humanity's only understanding of what's going on has been tagged into the religion category, no one understands that you're rocking the religion boat when you open your mouth about the energetic changes that you see going on here. And by that I mean your family hears it from a religion angle. Okay, so also it's important as empaths that we get a validation. That validation needs to come within, and sometimes we want to share our experience of what's going on, and what your family hears is, or could be, some sort of a religious movement mixed in with a little extraterrestrial stuff, which really makes it fun for them to hear. And also, you know, these two worlds splitting off and those types of things. Your family gets a little defensive and or scared for you. So if you're looking for validation of the energetic shift that's going on within you, you may not get it from those sources because they love you and they worry about you. But most importantly, they worry about them when they're listening to what you're saying. So know that I was trying to figure out how to explain this. And when you're going out and you're visiting with your family and they see a change in you, what you want to do is kind of approach that at this point in juncture from a don't ask, don't tell perspective. And what I mean by that is if they're not asking about the change that you're going through, perhaps this might be a great year to simply observe yourself and your different reactions to what goes on energetically in the environment. Now, that's not hiding. That's respecting your own right to privacy and knowing and understanding that sometimes when we begin to open our mouth, and if we talk about light working or we talk about way showing, we talk about those things, if the closest thing that a human understands is religion, we kind of begin to sound like the Bible thumper in the room. Pause for effect. And praise the baby Jesus and all that, but we tend to sound like we might be convincing as well too. And now let me tell you where a little bit of that convincing might come from. And that's the notion that throughout this shift in the light working world and the way showing world, that people would be left behind. And our agenda, our intention is that no soul is left behind. So there's absolutely no need to save your family. No one needs to be saved. Turn the page. No one needs saving. You don't need to save your family and friends. And we promise you that every soul is being affected by the energetic change. So if you can respect that, we have a plane going over. If you can respect that these energetic shifts are also rocking your friends and family's boat and know that they are watching you and observing you energetically, but maybe not necessarily want to hear unless they ask about what's going on. And the other part too is, we'll get into this on the other view of it, is for you is as you're increasing your sensitivity and you can feel different things around you at a deeper level, you may want to reserve and pull back using those gifts on your friends and family. Just for your own peace of mind, I would say. And by that, I mean you can set an empathic control when you go into these holiday environments that are like a friends and family setting, where you don't actually sense things as deeply from them. I got a little buggy running around. Where you don't sense things as deeply from them. And this is something that you can test out this holiday season and perhaps keep a bit of silent observation as your goal with that. So let me look at these notes here real quick. Let's talk about why we hide from these social situations with our family and friends. And a lot of that has to do with, and Tamara, I see that you're on here. If you want to repost your question, I'll get into that pretty quick. But a lot of the reasons why we hide is because of the projections and the just overall insecurities of our family and friends, which we are highly sensitive to the ones that we've been on the receiving end of. So by all means, what we're encouraging you this year is to get out of the hiding mode. And when you go into these scenarios, know that you are going through a shift. You are uneasy about it. And you would get you would be well served to keep some things private. So Tamara, I think, is looking for that question. So with these intensely sensitive energetic times for an empath, there's no doubt that your belief system has been rocked. Okay. And if your belief system is going through a metamorphosis, it's going to be hard to articulate these types of things. And that's why you would only want to answer the questions about the shift that you're going through based on what you are asked. And if they are asking, then they are interested. And that is a wonderful way for you to feel around about how to respond about this shift that's going on within you. Because what's going on in the last few months with these empathic changes is we're beginning to drop a few of our labels and labels about this shift. And that's where we're moving from a religious approach to this, or even a spiritual approach to this, to just more a way of life, an energetic way of life. And so your discernment in your conversation pieces are about keep it about you and what's going on with you. And that will help others to understand a little more about the transformation, and not so much, and maybe even if you are asked, share with someone the fact that you're just starting to figure it out. Because a lot of times I feel like our mind and our ego makes it, thank you, Tim, our mind and our ego makes it, our insecurities, these high level of insecurity times, something that we tend to hide from our family. Now that you don't really want to hide. You want to open that up if you are asked. Otherwise, honor your insecurity. And then you won't be subjected to so many projections, because the projections happen when you worry their mind or their ego that what you're saying about what your life choices are makes them wrong. And no one's wrong. No religious approach is wrong. Everyone, if my feeling about religion is if you find a sense of solace in what it is, whether it's Catholicism, Buddhism, Hinduism, light working, way showing, or whatever, then by all means continue on that path. But right now, those paths are becoming unique to the way showers, the frontline people right now. And you frontline highly sensitive empaths have gone through the most intense empathic integration over the last few months that humanity has ever seen. And this will become the emergence of your different and unique energetic signatures and unique variations of how you wish to exude your energetic signature. We're talking about a freedom of energetic expression. And like Nelson Mandela said, we want to allow that freedom of expression in others. So if you start sounding like the Bible thumper in the room, then you're going to rock the boats of the people who love and care about you, and then you'll be bombarded with projections of you just joined a cult or those types of things. That's one of my favorite ones right there. So one of the questions that I had received, which will shift into the second gear, I think we pretty much covered that, is look at the different views of what's going on with you from the people who love you and know and understand that they're worried, they see a shift in you, and they are watching. I have thousands of people on my Facebook list, and most of them watch and read every word, but don't comment. I like those people because I understand what they're doing. They're privately surveying and watching this shift. I suggest you do that with your family this year. And when you're observing reactions, which is where we're going to segue into Tamara's question here, which opens up a whole other can of empathic worms. When you want to, normally we go into a hypervigilant state when we go with our family, and we are looking for those projections, and those projections come from their own fears and insecurities, remember. So what you want to turn that focus to is your empathic response to it. And particularly, we have the strongest empathic responses to egos, which Tamara had said a question that her in particular, she has problems with huge egos, and sending her, doing these projections to her energetic field, and it creates the wobbliness. Now, the wobbliness right now is an empathic indicator to you that you are most afraid of this vibration that this ego is emitting. Okay, and that's where you turn the question internally to you and say, what is scaring you about this approach? What is scaring me about this approach? Did so-and-so within the family, have you had an experience with them before? Are they reminding you of something else? But because this is, the wobbliness is you trying to be present in the moment, but then restricting from the vibration, because empathically the files in your mind are reminding you of something that was said or done, or these really deep family traumas that are paradigms handed down that don't even, some of these family traumas are not even indicative of what happened within your family when you grew up. It's when they grew up, and then when they grew up. So it's handed down generation of generation. And a lot of what's happening is you'll see the egos and the minds of others playing out the script of families. Again, that's been handed down from generation to generation. So the best way to do this is to know and understand that your wobbliness is what you want to observe and say, yay, I just found a wobbly moment. Because regardless of what the person is saying when they're doing the projection, that vibration takes you off your game, your empathic game. So the best way to approach it this holiday season is not to fight back, because that's normally we want to defend ourselves from this projection, because that, no, you are feeling the projection as it is meant, and it is back off from me. You are freaking me out on whatever level, whether it's vibrationally you're freaking me out, or whatever the words that are coming out of your mouth, because there is an epic shift happening on this planet. I see it happening, and I'd like to stay in denial for as long as I can, because change scares the crap out of me. So that's really the words that match the energetic flow. So if they're using a particular thing that hooks you, that's like a double bonus gift. Okay, because listen to the circumstance. They're pretty much telling you what it is, the button is that they know about you that they can push. So you've got this wonderful opportunity to match up that vibration and know that it's coming from their fear. And it's their fear of them. I say that your family are afraid for you, and they are. But fundamentally, everyone's afraid for themselves about what it is that is energetically happening. And if you abolish religion, and you abolish these money things that we enjoy talking about, and all of these different conspiracies and those types of things, then you're taking away the foundation of the mental structures of every human. So you be very careful when you go to rock those boats, because that's why those egos are coming at you, because they are putting you in your place. And your place is to only respond with an energetic opinion if you are asked. That is your place as an empath. And most of my audience is made up of healers, and healers that are learning as well too. And it confuses you in these situations, because where you want to use your gifts to help people sort things out is when they are your clients. Because you would be subject to the most strongest projections from your friends and family. So you wouldn't want to try and sort them out when they're giving you an opportunity to see that there's something within you that isn't sorted out. And they're your best ones too. And where you take that privacy of your own insecurities and not so much hide that, but you're honoring what that insecurity is that is being evoked within you when they are projecting. And when you honor that and you nurture that, then the wobbliness becomes stability. So perhaps your goal when you get out there is to not hide from this energetic world anymore, but to really experience it through the eyes of an empath, and know you're looking at the way that people are using energy within your family, because these are your best clues, man. These are your best clues of your subconscious energetic habits. And if anyone's going to show you what it is that you want to strengthen on, it's going to be your friends and family. So that's what that's great for. If anything, why don't you flip the script, as we like to say, and you look at it as them coaching you? If any empath can look at that and see what is this person teaching me right now, or what is this person coaching me about me, you'll sail right straight through this holiday season. And the wobbliness is also a thing to celebrate, as in, I'm human, I'm experiencing this energy in the now. So our goal is not to be this non-emotive, understood. It's not non-emotive, non-responsive individual. Our goal right now for this point in juncture with all of these solar infusions and the empathic alignments is to understand our own selves energetically. And you need to admit that you do not understand your own self empathically or energetically. And do not expose that side of yourself if you are not there nurturing it. And that's a message to every empath. If you're there to nurture yourself about the exposure, then open your mouth more. But if you have a restrictive response, that is the number one indicator that you need to nurture. And the closer the person is to you, the faster this lesson comes to you, because they know you and they know your buttons. So if it's your partner, if it's your mom, or if it's your dad, You know, their holiday gift to you is wrapped up in projections. It's wrapped up in the dialogue that they use coming at you. Look at the script. Look at their script. Don't hide from that. Listen to it. Restrict your energy or pull back your energy would be a better way to say this. Pull back your energy because then you're in control. Like and in the energetic world, we do talk about pulling back our energy when things happen. I think I've heard this within plants and trees when they're being pruning. People say, pull back your energy so we can do the pruning and those types of things. So pull back your energy when you notice the projection, but observe and nurture yourself as you're hearing it and listen, because that voice that's projecting at you is telling you what your mind is saying to you in your subconscious. And I promise you, I've been through this a lot, especially the last 6 months. I promise you, when you take a look at what it is that they are coming at you with, partner-wise, roommate-wise, loved one-wise, you will very much so see that they contracted in to get you over this hump too. So that's where you want to adopt the role that they are the master teacher. That's where we go back to all of the spiritual masters that talk about this, and that these people are your master teachers. So you don't need to get into a course about how to handle projections. How about you jump in and don't hide from this anymore. Pull your energy back so that you can observe and give yourself some privacy about your insecurities unless you're asked about them, and then answer from the frame of mind that I don't have this all figured out, so that you can circumvent the ones that want to fight you on whatever it is that they perceive that you think that you have figured out. So spiritual debate, religious debate, cult debate, whatever that is. So I do want to open up for other questions and answers on this, but I think it's important that we all realize that right now there are different fractals within us and different sides of ourselves that are simultaneously having reactions to the outside world. And when we go into our family environment, that represents our own mind and our own ego. Okay, so everything there right in front of you is the script. It is literally the course in energetic triumph is the script of what your family is saying to you and what it is that's being said. And when you watch their energetic exchanges with each other, you'll be able to sail right through into, 2015, the new year. We were joking earlier as I was preparing for the show, and we were going to call this the December to Remember for Empaths. And again, it's your crash course. Look at it as school. You are the student. What are they saying? What are they saying to each other? How are they using energy? What is going on here and what is going on there? But most importantly, that focus is within. So if you have any questions, you can go to the question and answer period. But what you are going to find, I did have a few comments where people say, yeah, mostly I hide during the holiday season. And that is very understandable. But I wanted to approach it from, I suppose as we wrap up here, I want to approach it to the why you have hid energetically and why it's safer to do it this year, to emerge and not hide, but keep your privacy spiritually at the same time while you're figuring it out. And basically, same time last year, energy unstable, Gaia going through these empathic alignments. So you weren't able to pull your energy back and control your energy as well as you are this time of year. We mean this. Humanity is now embracing empathy. And when you embrace this, you're naturally shielded and naturally protected with this viewing room or this empathic bubble that I keep speaking about that gives you the safety to view, but you'll still feel the wobbliness as it's coming. So you could not accomplish this time last year. It is much different energetically. The energetic environment is much different. You've seen it. You're watching the solar activity. You're watching the tectonic plate activity on planet Earth. You're watching the electromagnetic field now. We started talking about that in 2011. This whole shift is electromagnetic field related. So you're watching and you're seeing where science is backing this up. So here's an affirmation for you that if you if you embrace energy this year, you're going to have a more stable energetic experience, because wobbly is way more steps up than knocked on your rear and in your room, or in, hiding in your cave for a week or two after all the holiday experiences. So wobbly is great. We're definitely we're definitely making progress if our biggest fear right now is energetic wobbliness. So, because this, again, and the only way that you're going to validate this is by getting out there yourself. And you can shift your focus if there's nature around where you're having these gatherings, animals, shift your focus to observing energy exchanges within that. Houseplants, trees, yard, have some conversations with nature and your own guides, and more importantly, your own mind and your own ego and that inner light child, or that divine empath within you. And that will give your mind something to do during those hours when you're visiting with your family as well, too. So, okay, giving one more shout out. I know we're about 2 minutes behind on the play here, but this was mostly to introduce the topic of knowing that you have a right to privacy as an empath. You have a right to the cocoon type of an empathic understanding that you're going through right now, because everyone's belief systems are being rocked, and honor that within you first. And if we take Nelson Mandela's very wise advice and respect, we want to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. So everyone has the freedom to their own right, to their view on energy. They do. They do. And if your response to what they're saying is that they're wrong in their approach, then you need to know one thing about your mind. Your mind is telling you that you could be wrong about your approach. Okay, so that's what you're having the reaction to. You're asking yourself, am I wrong about this path that I am choosing? And that is why you would end up projecting, just as your family members would end up projecting. So that's the full circle on this. So, yeah, and the same applies to, actually, with parties, it gets a little more fun. The question is, does the same apply for holiday parties? And being in Costa Rica, we don't get invited to many holiday parties, so thanks for bringing that up. So the same does apply to holiday parties, but you're going to find that this will be a more fun environment to restrict your energy from and watch the egos and minds at play, which means that you're not as emotionally attached to the egos and minds at play. So this is where you would really want to deploy name that vibe. You're going to want to nurture yourself and use the privacy and know your own insecurity in your family environments. But in a party environment, that's where you can go in with the mindset that where you do energy watching as opposed to people watching. I used to go into bar scenes and I would play name that vibe, and I would usually end up being the designated driver because I wasn't very good at drinking. So I would sit there. I just never was very good at alcohol. So I would play name that vibe, and I would look and say, okay, so this is going on with this, and this is going on with that, and that's how I would entertain my mind. Because what you're going to find in party environments is social lubricants being deployed. So you're going to have, which would be alcohol or whatever. And I'm a huge fan. I love to drink some wine and all that kind of stuff too. It's just that, again, I just was never very good at it. But you'll see the different changes in energy, and watch how people who aren't family related relate to each other. Because if it's a work party, there's a semblance or a resemblance of a family environment, but not so I don't know how to say it, not so dramatic, I suppose, or it could be more dramatic. But just look at how those mini mock family environments get set up in the work environment, and or with your friends as well too. Your friends are the ones that can make or break your view of yourself and your energetic shift that's going on. I remember in 2011 when I first started speaking up about this shift in energy ascension. that I would speak about the understanding that there are extraterrestrials, there are those types of things. And my high school friends would actually send emails to my current friends saying, "Is Angel okay? Is she on drugs?" You know, those types of things. And that actually threw me for a loop at first. And I got really into just not publicly posting and those types of things. And that's when I realized that when you're going through this shift consciously, your friends do care, kind of, because if those individuals that were reaching out to them cared, they would have actually reached out to me. More they care about, I don't know, maybe what it looks like to have you on their friends list. You kind of want to understand that. So look at it when you get around your friends. I noticed when I was first hanging around my friends in 2011, 2012, they were extremely uncomfortable hanging around me because they were scared to death that I was going to talk about, you know, disclosure or, you know, non-religion or get up on my soapbox and things like that. So I knew that at that point it wasn't my place to impose anything. And most of them are still silently watching what's going on, and it's merged into this love of nature and this becoming one. And know that when your life is affected, these people around you can't help but be affected. And they're silently watching you as well as you watching them. So embrace the non-family environment as more of an energetic game for you to figure out some things and see how people are responding to each other. And that's lots of fun. That's not, you're just watching the show. Their energy is like a movie. People have these scripts and they don't even know it, and you know, your gifts are developing too, so you can practice looking at the colors of energy, what energy looks like as it's being exchanged in your mind's eye, and those types of things as well too. So alrighty, I think, let me get to a smaller screen here. I have said my piece. Oh yeah, gosh, we went on for quite some time. So that's it. That's part one. There was a lot to cover, but I hope you got the gist of it. Thank you so much for your participation. And I will be back next week with part two, just before the holiday season. Know this about the Unity Consciousness Grid. We are calming things down with all of the empathic alignments that are going on, and we're doing that in alignment with the human holiday season. So thanks, peace and love to everyone. And please feel free to email me any questions about this that I can cover on the next show. Bye.